getting so old. Hello and welcome to my review of Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem. Now, you may think this is me taking a sledgehammer to the games of my childhood again, but no, I bought this game 3 years ago because somebody recommended I review it, and honestly I don't remember who it was that recommended it because it was 3 years ago and I just never reviewed it, but I knew I would review it someday, and that's why I held on to this. You know what this is? It's a mint. Yeah, the Amazon seller I bought the game from sent a thank you mint along with it, and I've held on to it for 3 years because that has never happened to me before or since. Who sends a mint along with a video game? But it wasn't until I played the game that I realized that this isn't a thank you mint. It's an apology mint. Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem was released in 2003, and it's a THQ game, which should tell you all you need to know right off the bat. Ah man, that brings back memories. I don't think that guy who was so insanely pissed off that I dissed THQ is still around, but if anyone wants to take his place and write another really bad fanfic where I'm the villain, feel free. Mystery Mayhem was one of those games that was released on every console. It was released for Game Boy Advance, which is what I have, and it also got released for Xbox, PS2, and GameCube a short time later. Did that ever confuse anyone else? Like, they'd make a game for these big consoles with 3D graphics and voice acting, and then port that to what was essentially a handheld SNES. The transition was never smooth, and THQ did this all the time with their licensed games, just trying to squeeze every possible dollar out of them. See, that worked out well. Anyway, in this game you play as Shaggy and Scooby. I guess they are the most relatable. Constantly hungry and afraid. Yeah, that checks out. Kinda wish I could run that fast, though. You can switch between them using the select button. Wow, been a while since I saw a game use the select button, unless the pad on the PS4 controller counts. So the first stage is the haunting of Hambridge. Jesus Christ. The librarian called the gang because ghosts have started appearing and they aren't just dudes in costumes. Except that guy, but I think he's having a moment. And before I forget, the dialogue scenes have a laugh track. Free me from this hell. Whatevs, we gotta split up and look for clues. Oh, I'm sorry. Clues. So you get up to the usual platformer things. Yeah, I said platformer. This is a platformer. It's got floating platforms in a library. What, you thought you'd be solving mysteries in a Scooby-Doo game? Actually, has solving mysteries ever been the focus of a Scooby-Doo game? You'd think it'd be good for a point-and-click type thing, but it's usually just bland adventure games. Somebody could have gotten creative with this, but they didn't. Yeah, I guess the real problem with licensed games is that they've got no incentive to try because kids will want it anyway. You know what? Scooby-Doo is too famous. He doesn't need any more games. Let's spread the wealth out a little bit and give this dog a game instead. And by supporting my new charity, Digital Doggos, we can give underprivileged dogs like Lulu their own video games. Please send all donations to my Patreon. But this game is not only a platformer. It's also a stealth game. Kind of. You hold B to sneak and hide behind pillars. Ghosts hate pillars. They won't bother you there. Ghosts also hate obeying the reality that I see with my real human eyes, and the reality that I see is that motherfucker did not touch me. Apparently my hitbox is the size of Wisconsin. And oh yeah, man, these ghosts are violent. They're not gonna chase you down a hallway while funny music plays. They're here to bring the true fear of death. It's just a shame the graphics are so bad I can't tell what they're really supposed to look like besides a gnarled gray lump. And no, you can't fight back. At least, not yet. You can take 3 hits, one for Shaggy, one for Scooby, and one to die. Unfortunately, once you take 2 hits, the game does this infuriating thing where Shaggy and Scooby just start running and don't stop for a few seconds, which is really helpful when you're trying not to get hit again. Luckily, there are Scooby snacks littered about to patch you up. Have fun finding one when you can barely control what you're doing, though. On top of that, the level design is utter ass. You'll be given an objective and the camera will immediately shoot off to wherever it is, which might sound useful, but it is not at all. The first problem is that everything looks the same. Oh, the objective of this section is near a bunch of bookshelves? What a coincidence. So is everything else. It gets even worse when you reach the part of the game with the book stacks. You get a lantern that only Scooby can use. Genius, right? Give the lantern to a creature with no opposable thumbs. Anyway, part of the level is dark and you have to use the lantern to light it up. And the lantern flickers like it wants to give you a seizure. You have to pick up batteries to keep the light going. Also, this part of the game is a maze with a bunch of secret doors hidden behind bookshelves, in a place where everything looks the same. Good luck, 8-year-old kid playing this game in 2003. It's unbearable, but not as unbearable as the fucking book cart segment. You find Fred in here and he says he needs help moving this book cart through a maze, so I thought, oh, it'll be a top-down perspective, or turn out to be a slider puzzle or something. I wish. Yeah, this game made me wish for a slider puzzle. Instead, you ride the cart through the library, avoiding obstacles, and it is terrible. It controls like shit, it's not fun, and the only point of it was finding another clue. Oh, I'm sorry. Clue! Speaking of clues, you can't even look at them yourself. You have to bring them back to Velma, who stands around doing nothing, and she explains them. Is Shaggy illiterate? I just want to know. None of the other characters do anything. Ever. There's a point at the end of the stage where you have to face what I guess is a boss battle, and Velma, Fred, and Daphne are more than happy to let Scooby and Shaggy face the horrors of the dead by themselves. Also, how are we meant to fight them? Well, up to this point you couldn't attack the ghosts. All you could do was run away and hide, but then you discover the Tome of Doom, which can destroy ghosts. You aim it at them and tap B. Unfortunately, the book only works if you have enough wisps. Yeah, wisps. Honestly, this fight sucks, and at the end you find out that the librarian's assistant was responsible for the ghosts, which you figured out the second you saw his pixelated face. So consider this mystery solved. But wait, what's the deal with the Tome of Doom? Why was it able to do that ghost thing it did? Who cares? No game, stop. Stop thinking I care. No. Yes, I see we're at a movie studio. No, I still don't care. No. I'm done. I'm done. I solved the haunting of Harambe or whatever. I think I've seen enough. Also, the bad music might drive me insane if I keep playing. I've got better things to do, this being one of them. Gonna go look at some dinosaur bones. And if dinosaurs had ghosts, Scooby-Doo would be infinitely more interesting. Case in point. Love that movie. So yeah, this is bad. Quite bad. Still appreciate the mint, though. Yeah, you're probably thinking, PML, you're not actually gonna eat a 3-year-old mint, are you? Well, you're right, I'm not. I hate mint. Anyway, happy birthday to me, and if you want to see what's next, subscribe, and the next review will be posted soon. I promise. Although, it comes a bit sooner if you support me on Patreon, hint hint. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.